news and features from around Australia and around the world. This is Travel Radio Australia. Here's your host and travel guide, Ren Zwiers.
And welcome to this month's edition of Travel Radio Australia. In order of sequence, in this program we'll play some rugby on the European ski fields. Sounds quite unusual, but it's an interesting story. Also, we'll visit Vigo on the northwest coast of Spain. And from there we'll take a light-hearted look at some of these bag tag codes that you'll find at the airports for different airports. What else? Okay, we're going to Kennedy Space Center in Florida, quite a spectacular destination. And to finish off the show, we'll have a chat with the captain of Royal Caribbean's mighty cruise ship Ovation of the Seas. That's all happening here on Travel Radio Australia.
My name is Ian Balshaw. I played rugby between 1997 to 2014, and I played in the back three. Projects, well, I do various projects, but one in particular, that's why we're here today. I work with Yann Deleg and Stéphane Rouleau for the 6 Stations de Ski. It is an organisation where we play in 6 different ski resorts in the Alps in 6 days with 30 ex-professional rugby players and 30 amateurs. The professional way to describe it is we take everything very seriously. We're there for the rugby. The unprofessional way is that we are there to party with our mates and act as though we are 16 years old. Not being able to participate in this sort of event, I would never have been able to, one, learn how to ski, and 2, discover the amazing areas in the Alps. We are at Val Thorens, Les Clusaz, Le Menuire, Valmorel, Châtel. This year we're going to Megève, so we're very, very lucky. We get to go to some of the most incredible ski resorts in the Alps, ski all day, play a little bit of rugby, and then do the après-ski in the evening. They all have their positives, to be honest. There's not one ski resort that I can say is better than the other. Everyone is very accepting of us. We all go there, as I said, different ski resorts every day. Guys from all walks of life, all different countries around the world are there to participate in the tournament that we put on, and it is just genuinely for families, children, adults alike. It's just a fabulous event. You can go to tournoide6stations.fr and you will find everything you need to know, or just type in snow rugby and I'm sure it'll be the first on the list. Hello, my name is Ian Balshaw. I'm an XXXX Rugby International. I am here supporting skitv.eu.
Geoff Harrison chatting with Ian Balshaw. You're tuned to Travel Radio Australia. We arrive in Vigo, our first port of call, on an 11-night Spain-Portugal Canaries cruise from Southampton on Royal Caribbean's megaship Independence of the Seas. The cruise terminal is located right near the town centre, so we could walk off the ship and start exploring the sights and shopping immediately without the need of a bus transfer. Vigo, boasting almost 300,000 inhabitants, is the 14th largest metropolitan area of Spain and is situated on the country's west coast as the gateway of the green region known as Galicia, which boasts Celtic roots and a distinct culture and language. The Galician ports, including Vigo, were instrumental in the rise and glory of the Spanish Empire. Ships returning from the New World laden with riches called into the ports on their way home. After disembarking the ship, it's a brief walk to attractions like the Oyster Market, the Old Quarter, the Castro Park, Marco Art Museum, the Congress Palace, Celtic Settlement, and various other museums. Vigo boasts hundreds of taverns, restaurants and cafes, with seafood of course being dominant on the menus as befits a seafaring town. Shops, galleries and shopping malls are also there in abundance, with Prince Queen Street being a pedestrian mall. The old neighbourhoods of Oyster Street and Pastaderia Street in the Old Quarter are popular with pedestrian tourists. Oyster sellers provide the local estuary product, and there's a market, cathedral and more to keep the visitors interested. Hope you enjoyed that little trip to Vigo in Spain, quite a popular cruise destination. Next on the show we look at some of the bag tag codes you'll find on your luggage as you retrieve it from the belt.
Well, you know, when you travel, always you get these luggage tags, and each luggage tag is an airport code. For example, Los Angeles International Airport is LAX. Santa Barbara Airport up here is SBA.
SFO is
SFO San Francisco. Now here's some that I bet you don't know where they are. And these are pretty curious if they put them on your bag. Okay, how about this one? It's a scary one. Boo. B-O-O.
Would it be Bahrain or something?
No, it's Bodo, Norway. Who knew? Who knew Bodo? I like this one. In Budapest, Hungary, it's, this one's for you. B-U-D.
Oh, Bud.
This Bud's for you, yeah. Of course, this one might be a little bit different. If you went to Butler, Missouri, the initials are B-U-M.
Oh,
it's sort of the same thing, right? You know?
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's a couple here I really like. This one, I know we'd all love this because we have these in common. If you went to Dongola, Sudan, which I doubt either of us will, the thing is D-O-G.
D-O-G.
That's a little rough. I know, it's a little. And then if you went to Dumai, Indonesia, it's D-U-M.
That's me. and I can't even spell it.
By the way, here's a little closer to home. You know, what do you think Fresno is?
Probably F-R-O?
No, it's F-A-T.
Oh.
Poor Fresno. There it is. Oh,
Pat.
wasn't it? Yeah, and then of course you can go to Gaya, India, and it's G-A-Y.
G-A-Y.
Gay.
Got it.
It's a gay old time in Gaia. There's also, of course, a place in Arkansas. If you go to Hot Springs, Arkansas, oh, there's a good place. That's a place.
We can't say that one. You'll have to watch on TV.
Yeah, you have to watch on TV, but it begins with an F and ends with K. You can guess what's in the middle.
Star in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's atw.tv. So if you want to see that, or watch it on Cox, you can see.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's...
You're so naughty. She's very naughty today. It's going to be a nasty show. I know this one. Then, of course, there's a place that I would not want to go to, Russia. This place is called Perm, and its letters are P-E-E. And then, of course, a place I'd love to go to, which is in Germany, Sembach, Germany, and its initials are S-E-X.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
S-E-X.
So there you go. There's some of the wild, unusual, funny airport codes.
I wonder how many airports that actually need bag tags.
I think every airport needs a bag
Well, I know
tag.
that, but I mean, I'm just wondering how many there are. Well, I'm talking about you could fly into a private.
Well, then you wouldn't have bag tag either, because you're...
Arthur von Wiesenberger and Martha Bull from Around the World TV discussing some of those humorous bag tag codes you'll find at airports around the world. Next on the show, Geoff Harrison returns, and he's going to take us to Kennedy's Space Center in Florida in the USA.
Travel Radio Australia and Television at the World Travel Market in London, and we're here with Philip Britton at the Kennedy Space Centre in Florida, United States. And Philip, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Geoff. Great to be here.
And tell us a bit about the complex. It's a fantastic thing, and a lot of people don't realise they can actually visit the centre and have a great time.
Absolutely. Wonderful place, Geoff. Kennedy Space Centre is where man went to the moon from. We put 12 astronauts on the moon from Kennedy. Still a working launch facility. You've all got mobile phones. Satellites going to space. A lot of them go from Kennedy Space Centre. We've got an Apollo Saturn V rocket at Kennedy. The largest rocket ever built, the vehicle that took 12 men to the moon. Loads to see and do at Kennedy. You can have lunch with an astronaut, you can walk through the rocket garden, you can see the two biggest IMAX screens in the world at Kennedy, and it's only a 50-minute drive from Orlando. It's a great place to be.
Now, tell me some of your favourite little bits, that you are really must-sees for people who are visiting.
The must-sees, we have one of the space shuttles, Space Shuttle Atlantis. Atlantis did 33 missions, Geoff, 33 missions into space, travelled more than 25 million miles around the globe, and Atlantis is on permanent display at the visitor complex. It's at an angle as if it's flying through space. You can look through the payload bay doors into the hold, see where a lot of satellites were launched into space from on the robotic arm, and it's a great thing to see and do.
Well, I believe you can actually see the cockpit as well. Can people get a tour of that part of it and see inside where the astronauts actually sit?
I'd love to say yes, Geoff, but no. That's strictly off limits, like a fair bit of NASA.
Yes, I can imagine. And just the sheer scale of everything, it just must be mind-blowing.
Huge, absolutely. The complex is over 200 square miles, so it is a relatively big area, big piece of land, but you would expect that when you're launching rockets into space. It does come with a lot of, you've got to do everything safely, but the water's great. It's a nature reserve as well. We have crocodiles, we have the American bald eagle, so yeah, it's a huge nature reserve as well, out on the Canaveral Peninsula.
Wonderful. And how can people find out more, Philip, about the Kennedy Space Centre online?
As ever, the World Wide Web, kennedyspacecentre.com. But Kennedy's a global name, a global brand, so very easy to find out. And we'd love to see you there one day.
Thank you very much, Philip, for being on the programme.
Thanks very much, Geoff. Appreciate it. See you guys.
Geoff Harrison reporting from Florida in the United States. Next on the show, we speak to the captain of Royal Caribbean's mighty cruise ship, Ovation of the Seas, and interviewing Henrik Loy will be Veronica Matheson from Travel Riders Radio.
Welcome, Captain Henrik. Now, I understand that Ovation of the Seas may not be staying in Australia after 2019, and you're off to Alaska. Is this a surprise for everyone?
We are leaving in 2019 after the season has ended in Australia. We head for Alaska, which is fabulous. I've done 6 full seasons there before, and it's beautiful, and we're very excited about that. And I'd say this ship is perfect for the Alaskan itinerary. So we're really looking forward to that. What happens after the first Alaska season? Who knows? I don't know, certainly. But I would personally hope that we went back to Australia. That's an ideal sort of 12-month cycle to spend half the year in Alaska and the other half in the Australian New Zealand waters. And this ship is perfect for both those regions. So fingers crossed. As it stands right now, we don't really know what's going to happen after the Alaska season. So.
Well, Australians love Ovation of the Seas. I mean, last season there were so many thousands who turned up to actually look at the ship, even though they weren't going on board. I expect you'll get the same response this summer.
For us who work on board, it's so amazing when there's so much passion in the ports of call. And you don't always see that, it's not the norm necessarily, but in Australia and New Zealand we really felt that passion and that warmth from the community there in the morning, even at sunrise at 6:30 in the morning, thousands of people at the edge of the water and on the hills with flags and picnics and really just cheering as we come into the port. That is quite something.
Ovation of the Sea will be celebrating its second birthday very soon, and you've been with it all along the way, and you even call it your billion-dollar baby. Why is that?
Well, it's when you've been part of something from the very beginning, you will be more attached to it, I suppose. It's quite a bonding experience. It's hard work to start up a cruise ship and to be there from the construction and building and then giving it life and taking it into service and embark on the inaugural season like we did and travel all around the world as we have done.
It must be such an honour, though, to be chosen to be captain of a ship of this size. I mean, it's one of the largest in the world, isn't it?
It is. It's a great honour. I'm very proud. I have to pinch myself every day, I believe. Largest ship ever to sail, largest cruise ship ever to sail on the southern hemisphere, so we can sail with the largest ship at least in half of the world.
So tell me a little bit about Ovation of the Sea. I mean, how would you describe her?
Oh, she's incredible. She's, of course, very large, but also incredibly innovative. There's so much technology on here. She's one of the greenest ships in the world as far as environmental protection or energy conservation. She's the most stable ship I've ever been on. So and it's an all-weather ship as well, which is good when you're traveling all over the world like we are. So the largest indoor activity areas on the high seas, and this means a lot. Even on a day with a bit gloomy weather, you still have a great time. I could go on and on, but I say those are the highlights and some features that just proves that the company is always pushing the boundaries, things, new features that people never imagined on a ship. North Star, for instance, an observation capsule almost 100 meters above sea level. And iFly, I mean, who would have thought you should go skydiving simulation on the ship while it's moving across the ocean. I'm proud to be part of such innovation, and it's incredible.
And I see on the bridge you've got so many consoles and digital readings and computers.
We very much still maintain this traditional ways of navigation. So hand in hand with technology, hand in hand with new innovative tools. It's a very impressive operation at this time. When you really merge the human and the technology aspects, it's quite amazing what you can do.
Now you're a Norwegian. Norway seems to be the place that so many captains come from. Why is that?
We're the Vikings, first of all. I suppose it's in our blood. We're a seafaring nation as far as probably thousands of years. But we have long traditions. We have a good connection with Royal Caribbean. There was 3 Norwegian ship owners that started Royal Caribbean back in the late 60s. And also we've had a strong influence directly with the company ever since. So.
And did you grow up wanting to go to sea?
I did, yeah. I did grow up in the busiest cruise port in Northern Europe, is my hometown of Bergen, which is the gateway to the beautiful fjords of the west coast of Norway.
Oh, that's a fabulous region.
Yeah, so being part of that and to watch the ships come and go literally every day of the summer, and to be able to go into the harbour and see them up close definitely made an impact. And I knew I wanted to be on those in the future, yes.
So you went to sea straight away as soon as you left school?
Straight away, yeah. I was always on boats and I was always on the seas even before going to school. But yes, I've never had a job on land in my life. So here we are. I chose quite soon at an early age, and I just went for it. And I was hired by Royal Caribbean 6 days after my final exam, and here 20 years later.
Wow. And you're very young to be a captain of such a large ship. I mean, when did you first become a captain, and which ship were you on?
I first was made master on the Explorer Seas, that's 7 years ago now in 2010, and we sailed out of New Jersey in the North Atlantic. It was exceptionally, it was a great experience there on Explorer Seas. I was there for nearly 4 years, and I moved on to the Independence of the Seas. This is the Freedom class, beautiful ship as well. On that ship I had the opportunity to sail into Norway, into the fjords, which was one of the highlights, of course. And then I was sent here to the Ovation of the Seas in just about 2 years ago. So that's, 7 years as a captain now.
Tell me about the ups and downs of being a captain.
Well, there's always challenges, of which I'm trained for, so I sort of thrive on these challenges as well. But I have to be 6,500 people. First of all, to make everybody happy all the time, crew and guests, it's an enormous task. There is so much to be considered, and there's so much unexpected things that can happen. So it's just to always be prepared for anything, and to maintain that vigilance, and to be just on top of the game all the time. It's quite challenging.
And I guess a lot of the passengers want to be meeting you all the time, do they?
Oh, they do, and I want to meet them because obviously I cannot meet 5,000 guests face to face within the space of one sailing. But we have many ways. I have appearances on TV. I make my public addresses. We have functions where we meet the guests and interact. Of course, also walk around and small talk. I quite enjoy that when I have the time.
What about at home? How often do you get home to see your family?
Every 2 months. 2 months on board and 2 months at home. That's the structure. That's how we work. So each ship has 2 captains. So one is always off on rest and one is on board. And then we relieve each other every 10 weeks, approximately.
Oh, you certainly need that break.
Yeah, it's very intense. It's very intense. I'm always on call, so it's a big responsibility. After 10 weeks, I'm good and ready for some downtime. Yes.
And your family at home, do you have a wife, children?
Yes, wife and children. We were settled in the UK, that's where my wife's from. And beautiful setting there in the countryside, so quite a contrast to the busy life on board.
That's all we have for you on this month's edition of Travel Radio Australia. Thank you to all the contributors: Geoff Harrison, Ian Balshaw, Arthur von Wiesenberger, Martha Bull, Veronica Matheson and Captain Henrik Loy. The sources for the segments, as usual, from Around the World TV in Santa Barbara in California, and also Travel Writers Radio Melbourne. Also thanks to the International Food, Wine and Travel Writers Association for their cooperation. And we'd like to wish everybody, until our next edition, happy trails.